Yeah, but it's a part of life. It took some time for me. I know for you, was it a slow process or a mid or fast?
The thing is, when it comes to the loss of a child, there's no cure, right? This is a
Yeah.
loss that you'll suffer for the rest of your life. So you kind of learn to live in that loss. So you structure your life now around that loss. And I'm not saying, I did say I'm angry, but I'm not saying I wake up every day and I'm miserable. I wake up every day, like I said, I have a plan because I have somebody
Hmm.
watching me. But I've already learned, because people are like, oh, time heals. Not with this. It really doesn't. People need to stop lying to people. It's okay to say that I'm going to be hurt and sad for the rest of my life, and I am, and I'm okay admitting that, because I wouldn't want to lie to anybody. I wouldn't want to lie to myself. What has surprised me is, because I want to make sure I throw this out there, is other than my tribe, my hood. Oof, the way my hood stood up. I had
Come on, hood.
I had people reaching out to me that were either friends from high school that we just we lived life, so we haven't gotten in touch with each other or
Mhm.
things like that. But they reached out. All of them were like,
Yeah.
they reached out, and they shown love to shut. So shout out to 201. You already know who you are. 212, all New
Hey
York tri-state
y'all.
area.
Okay.
Everybody, at the end of the day, everybody has had my back. At the end of the day,
Hmm.
I have been fortunate enough to have a good amount of people in my life, positive people in my life, that I can say I've had 20 plus years. This is just an unfortunate, tragic incident that blew everybody's mind and hit everybody differently, and they're handling their grief in result of that differently. Right. So it's
Hmm.
not to knock them, not to say anybody's better than the other. Everybody handled this differently. Everybody took this indifferently. What I can say, the positive of that, is the love that they've shown. Like,
Hmm.
it put a smile on my face. Like, dang, I must be a good person to have all these good people around me. Right.
Right.
So that's what I've taken from it. But yes, at the end of the day, I have lost definitely a lot more than I've gained. And the only thing I could do now is just continue to put my best foot forward. Don't get me wrong. There's days that I don't put that foot nowhere. I get to work from
Right.
home. So there's days that as soon as I clock out of work, I'm in my little slumber in my cave, in my area. But that's what makes me happy right now. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna fake the funk and get up and get dressed and go party here and go party there and pretend I don't
It's
need
not the
to.
cure.
That's why,
Mm-mm.
and I'm not pretending for nobody. I don't need to impress anybody, right? I need to grieve the way I need to grieve. What works for me. We had
Right.
mentioned when we spoke briefly about a therapist. I'm glad that we're getting a lot more feedback from everybody, even now
Yeah.
celebrities, when it comes to therapists. Because remember, back in the day, it was taboo. If you went to see a therapist, there's something wrong with you. You crazy girl. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
now that it's open, where you see the celebrities are dropping like flies themselves, because they don't have the proper people or the proper outlets or anybody to
No,
speak
girl.
to. So, like I had mentioned to you when we spoke before, I've never thought of going to one, only because I would definitely need to literally find somebody that's down to the T, gone through what I've gone through. I
Yeah.
don't think any outside therapist that's just a female, just an African American female, Hispanic female, because I'm of Hispanic descent also, or maybe that's even lost a child, can
Hmm.
relate, because mine was just such more on a graver type, and mine's such a more tragic,
Yeah.
exposed type incident, that's why I've never gone that route. But I appreciate the fact that they're out there. I appreciate the fact that they do what they do, and that a lot more exposure has been brought to them, because they needed that. Because once again,
Hmm.
like you said, it's helped you. Like the questions you just, told us right now, it's like, wow, those are really good questions, right? That's something that
Child,
never,
yeah. I
that's
was
why those
like,
are
good
really good
God.
questions. So, this is, even though I myself am not using one, I'm not going to one right now, I
Hmm.
definitely recommend anybody who feels that they should, or anybody who doesn't have anybody to talk to, or anybody just that needs that fresh perspective. Because of course, when you
Right.
have that good girlfriend, that good boyfriend, they are going to keep it real, but they're also going to soften it up just to not hurt your feelings
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. So you need that person that doesn't know you sometimes to be like, girl,
Yup.
this is what it is,
Give
you
you
know.
a
And
sharper
that's and
perspective.
that's what they're
Hmm.
paid to do. So that you'll definitely get their honesty from that outlet. So maybe one day for me, but right now my drive is the goal that she set forth for me. So that kind of keeps me busy right now. So that's where I'm going.
Child, this was a sad episode, but we
Yes,
gonna pull
girl.
it. We gonna pull it together.
We are.
So
Smiles on your face. Whenever y'all feeling down, just shout out my baby girl's name.
yes.
She's an awesome human being and an awesome angel. And if you a good person, she takes care of my peoples. I'll
Hmm.
send a little shout out like, Mamita, Can you just, send a little love to such and such? Next thing you know, I get a phone call that they good. I'm like, all right, then thank you. That's what I want to make sure she does. I want to make sure that whatever she's able to give, she gives it back to the people that had her mom's back. You know what I'm saying? So you don't understand how wholeheartedly I believe in. And I'm not, it's not to go into the subject of religion or the topic of religion, but I promise you, when I tell you, just like you feel your cousin, I feel this child. I feel this child in every step I make, good or bad. There's days that my back is against the wall and I'm like, I can't do this. And Shorty's like, Mommy, I got you. Next thing you know, she sends somebody or something my way, girl. Because
girls, woo, this was a heavy episode, but I
yes.
warned y'all in the beginning. So, but it's a discussion that needs to be had.
Yes.
As the eavesdropper said, this was uncomfortable. And she said it numerous times. She said it more before I even did the public interview.